Hey everybody, this is Tammy with Therapy Talk with Tammy and Pauline. Today I'm doing something totally new and different. I recently had this event locally called Thanks with Franks in Newton, Iowa. And I had a little questionnaire because I wanted to get to know people in my community a little bit better. I do see a lot of people in therapy, but I wanted to do more like face-to-face interviews and getting to know the people in my community. I'm really big about stories, and everybody has a story to tell. And I just felt really inclined to reach out to my own community. And this event allowed me to do so. So I had a little pieces of paper out. And this is Jenny. And Jenny volunteered to speak with me today. So I'm super excited. She's going to share your story. As I've said before, everybody has a story to tell. And I would love to hear yours. And this is my premiere of Jenny. So Jenny, how are you?
Hi, I'm fine. Thank
Good.
you.
So why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Okay, well, I'm 62 years old. Um, my depression, I started to experience it when I was about 29 years old.
So you're 62 right now,
Yes,
and you started experiencing it when you were 29, you said?
yes,
Okay.
yes. So, for years, it was an up and down battle. Finding medications that were correct for me, and then fighting medications
Mm,
because I felt like, I shouldn't have to take this medication. I should be stronger, you know. And so for a while, it was a battle.
hmm.
And then I got on the right medications, and everything started to just mellow out.
Yeah.
It really did. Um, I find today that I can I deal with my depression much easier with the combination of medicine that I have.
Sure.
We finally found a good combination. I do take an anxiety pill with that.
Hmm.
And
So you have been diagnosed with depression and anxiety. Is that what I hear you saying?
yes,
Okay.
yes, I have
Okay.
that. I also experienced post-traumatic stress syndrome.
Okay.
And once again, that still helps with,
Hmm.
my PTSD.
Yeah. So it sounds like it's been a little bit of a struggle to find the right meds.
It was
Gosh,
definitely.
yeah. I know I have so many clients where they come in and they're ready to give up. They don't want to
Yes.
take meds anymore, or the
Yes.
side effects of this med is counterintuitive of this med, and like I'm not sleeping now, or I'm overeating now. There's so many side effects to a lot of medications where a lot of people's like, it's just not worth it. So what was your experience during that
That's
time?
basically what my experience was. I was having such um, difficulty. I might be very lethargic at one point.
Oh,
Um,
yes.
at one point, I was homeschooling my son, and I got up in the morning and I had a medication that I had to take.
Hmm.
And by 11 o'clock, my head was just on the table.
Oh my
It was like, oh,
goodness.
I had to call the doctor back and say, look, I homeschool my son, and this is just not very it's not probable for me to be
Hey,
taking this medication.
wow.
And so he switched the medication, and it's difficult because you want to think that you take the medication right away and it's going to start working right away,
Hmm. Very true.
but it takes some time to get into your system. And in that period of time, that's where you can really have some struggles. And
The in between, right?
yes,
From like, okay, so you're diagnosed, let's try this med, and then you're starting it, and then it maybe takes effect 4, 6 weeks later, give or take.
yes,
So it's the in between that's been the worst for you.
yes,
Okay.
it has been. Um, I I don't think that well, I don't know how to put it really. Oh, it's medications. Sometimes I'll have, okay, for an instance, I've had changes in psychiatrists, changes in psychologists, and one may say, oh, I don't think this medication is working well for you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to take you off this medication. And then I'm going to take you off this medication and put you on this medication.
That's shuffling.
And it's difficult. It really is difficult, but
Mhm.
you can get through it.
Yeah,
There's no doubt about it.
yeah. And I think you bring up a really good point that if you're not actively going to therapy or seeing a psychiatrist or psychologist, even though everybody has their education and their degree, there's still a whole lot of, your own personal thought, your own personal opinion, your own personal like experience with meds. So I'm sure you got like, even though your diagnosis was depression, you have so many different people who have different insights and
Yes,
thoughts and feelings
yes,
on certain medications. So they're like, no, this medication is not going to be good for you, where somebody else might come around, and this is what I think I heard you say, is somebody else might come around and be like, oh, we really think this med would be good for you, when that person just said they didn't want you on that med.
yes, yes.
So it's like, what is going on?
So I've been taken off one med and put on another med, and maybe not even the time frame that I should have been put on that,
Sure.
and had some difficulties with it.
Yeah. So how long would you say that you have struggled with that, just finding the right med combo for you?
I'd say um, probably, like I said, at 29 years old, starting to experience my depression
Mhm.
until I was probably 40 some years old.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I went through some real downhill experiences, and had never been in trouble with the law or anything like that.
Mhm.
And then suddenly I found myself, having some personal difficulties, and um, it just was a downward spiral for a while.
Oh my goodness. Is there anything you'd like to share about that time of your life for that might help some other people going through something like that?
Well, like I said, it's just a given to stay on your medication, and not to go off your medication by yourself, especially. I've had experiences where I thought the I literally had a policeman at one time tell me that I was on drugs because I was coming off of a medication,
Mm,
and I couldn't explain to him what I was feeling or anything like that.
yeah.
So that was important to me, you know, that, they knew that this is what happens when this medication, you're
Yes.
withdrawing from it. And I had difficulty with my family. At one time, I had been drinking, and of course, you don't add a depressant to an
Mm,
antidepressant. And it just it took me becoming homeless.
oh, I didn't know that.
Well, yes, I did. It was an experience that uh, brought me out of a lot of confusion, and put me in a place where I had to think. I had to say to myself, "Look, this isn't, this
Mhm.
is where you are right now. This. Nobody else but yourself got you here."
Talk about like having a what do you call that? Talk to G, or like a moment to like just really come real with yourself.
Yes, yes, definitely.
Coming to Jesus is what the term I was thinking of.
That's a very good
Yeah.
term. Very good term.
Mm,
And so we did a lot of talking, Jesus and I did.
yeah.
And I was at the shelter for about 2 months, and um, started regularly going to psychiatrist, my psychologist. I quit drinking, and gee, things started picking up.
So something had like just a huge just shift and turn in
Oh,
your
yeah.
life.
Oh, yes, it
Yeah.
was. And that's when I decided that there was more to life than what I was living,
Mm,
and that maybe I could experience a full life, even though I have, depression and anxiety, if I follow, you know, what I need to do, take my medications,
mhm.
get enough rest, um, you know, not not get hungry. These are things that I'll trigger.
That is so awesome that you're just identifying those things. That is so great.
It's just there are a lot of things that could be a trigger
Mhm.
to, possibly going back to drinking and then stopping the medication again.
Yeah.
And you're always going to end up with the same effect. It just it's just a downward experience, but you don't have to live like that.
Mm,
You don't have to live like that at all.
yeah. Sounds like there's just been definitely just like different phases of your life. You've had like I have the company that I have is called Seasons Change Counseling, and I always tell people this is a season. It's
Yes.
going to change.
Yes.
Or like this is your chapter, but this isn't your life. This isn't the whole book. This is a
It's just a
chapter.
chapter, and you can turn the page.
You can turn the page, and you not only turn the page, you just flipped it over upside down and you just redid everything. That's
I
amazing. You are
my
such a strong person.
I have gained the strength throughout the years by the experiences that I've had.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I have.
Mm-hmm. I feel that. Oh my goodness. So where do you get your strength? Where do you get your courage and your tenacity that I see in you right now?
My strength comes from it does.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I couldn't do this on my own. I have, still have days where I'm down,
Mm-hmm.
and the Lord reminds me that this too shall pass.
You shall pass. Yes.
You'll get through this. I'm with you, and together we're gonna make it.
Yeah, that is
So
so great. I love your faith.
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sounds like you have more of a story to tell. Like I said, I like to collect stories. I like to talk to people. But is there anything else that you would like to share with me or our audience, or anything else that you want to bring up? This whole interview is yours. What would you like to express to everybody that maybe you haven't expressed yet, or maybe there's something that you wanted to answer today that I didn't get a chance to ask you?
Well, no, not exactly, but I just do want everyone to know that the stigma behind mental health is it needs to decrease. We need to let people know that, it's okay. It's okay if you have a mental illness. It's okay if you have depression. There are medications that are available. And one thing I never mentioned was initially I was very angry with God
Oh, yeah.
about having depression,
Mhm.
because my mother went through depression.
Oh, she did.
Yes,
And you watched that.
yes,
Yeah.
and it was something that I never wanted to go through. And then when I found out I had depression, it was like, oh, why? How? Why me? What? Because of what I experienced with my mother, um, I don't want to experience that myself.
Right.
And I talked with my pastor and his wife, and they were very, very good at explaining to me. They were both, one was a nurse and one was a doctor.
That's
And
cool.
yes, and they said, well, Jenny, God has given man the ability to come up with different medications that will handle depression. And um, it's okay if you take medicine.
Mhm.
It's not a weakness
Yeah.
at all. Um, you're not less than. You, you can have the courage and the strength of anyone else.
Yeah. That's really cool that you said that. I know with being a faith-based counselor, um, I'm a faith-based counselor, but I'm not, well, I'm a Christian counselor too, but I don't really do traditional Christian counseling.
Right.
When somebody comes in, I let them know that if they want spiritual guidance or actual Christian counseling, you're going to be doing a whole lot better if you go to your pastor, your minister, your priest, or whoever it is that you see, versus me, a therapist. Now, I am faith based. I am a Christian, and so we can talk about those things. But if somebody really legitimately wants like Christian counseling for me to go through the Bible with you and pray with you and things like that, I feel like that's not my strong suit, even though that is in my heart. So, but one thing as being as a Christian counselor, what I want to say and see if you feel this way is that in the Christian community, people really feel like if you love the Lord, if you love Jesus, therefore you will not have mental health issues.
Right.
And I run against that. I'm getting goosebumps because it really bothers me that the Christian community, even though as wonderful as they are, it feels as if something's missing because they believe that it's not real. They believe that it isn't just your head, even though literally is in your head, but they believe that if you're a Christian, then you wouldn't feel this way. And that's just putting more shame and guilt on top of
Oh, very
like
much so.
really bad feelings that you're already feeling. So you've experienced that as well?
Yes, I've experienced that, and I've also experienced, like you said, like, a lot of um, a lot of Christians believe that, no, I should be able to handle this. I should be happy.
Mhm.
What is wrong with me? And not get help.
Right.
And there are a lot of people out there that are, struggling when, you know, God doesn't want them to struggle.
Absolutely. I totally believe that too.
Not at
Especially
all.
when we have people out there who can help. I mean,
Yes,
we're here to help other people.
yes.
Nobody's above everybody else.
No, by no
I'm not
means.
above anybody else. I am as equal to you as anybody else. But we all struggle and we can get help from other people. There's no
Yes,
shame in that.
that's right. That's right. The more the merrier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The more the merrier. I like that. Oh my gosh, you are just so great. Um, so you have a child
Yes, I have a 42-year-old son.
and a grandbaby.
Yes, she's 17.
Yeah. So it looks like they are your pride and joy.
They are my pride and joy.
Yes.
They are my pride and joy. My son and I have a wonderful relationship now.
That's great. It wasn't
It
always
is.
like that.
No, it wasn't always like that with the onset of my depression. And what he had to go through similar things that I went through with my mother.
So here we see like generation,
It's a
generation,
generation,
generation.
yes. And I sometimes wonder about him, but he's one of these very people that, oh no, I'm not taking medicine. I'm not going to go see anybody. I can handle this on my own, Mom. And I'm going, okay, okay.
Yeah.
If he, feels that way, then, that's just the way it is.
Yeah. Yeah. And medicine isn't for everybody either. So just
No,
because
it's
you have
not.
depression doesn't mean you have to be on medication, but sometimes you just need that little extra boost to
Exactly.
get yourself maybe out of the slump a little bit.
Yes, yes. There are times when it may be a situational.
Absolutely.
It could be something that, you've not experienced in your life, and it's caused you a kind of a throwback in your life.
Yes.
And, and then maybe an antidepressant at that point would help you. And it wouldn't be an ongoing for life thing.
Right.
For myself,
You are so smart.
it is. And that's okay. That's okay.
I love it. You're saying that's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay if I have to take medications the rest of my life.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I've come to that. And
It's such a powerful message for people.
so yeah, that's a little bit about me. And
That's a little bit about you.
yeah.
Awesome. Well, I love that you reached out and you said that you would be willing to do this. I know this is probably outside of your comfort zone. It's early Sunday morning. Probably other thing, you probably wanted to go to church, and here I was taking time away.
That's okay. That's right. This is important.
But I really appreciate you being candid and honest and talking about your own mental health struggle. I really, really appreciate that. We need more people like you who are going to come out there and help us destigmatize the negative stuff that comes around mental health. It's so bad, you guys. And we wouldn't want more people to be treated like Jenny just because she has depression, especially like we talked about with the Christian community. But it's all over. You know, people are very down. People are very judgy when it comes to people who have some mental health stuff, and that's just not fair.
No, it's not fair at all.
Mm-hmm.
It's not fair at all, because the reality is, you know, like we were talking before, it can hit anybody.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, there is help out there, a lot of help, and good help. There are a lot of people out there that, you know, really understand depression and anxiety,
Mm-hmm.
and they're there to help us.
Yeah. Before we started the interview, there was something you just reminded me of this. You started to say something how sometimes it's been difficult because of the shifting in either staff, or a therapist would move, or a psychiatrist would move.
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit about your experience going through all the different shifts in
Well,
people?
I've had a number of psychiatrists and a number of psychologists. They just I don't know if they find better jobs, or, you know, if for personal reasons they're moving, but you often find yourself at times seeing someone different. Um, and just when you've got to the point where you started getting comfortable with this person,
Mm-hmm.
and your psychiatrist has got your medications taken care of, someone new steps in,
And then you feel like you got to start all over again.
you feel like you have to start all over again. Yes.
Yeah.
I've explained to them that, you know, there are certain things in my life I've taken care of,
Mhm.
that I really no longer need to
Perfect.
discuss a lot,
Yeah.
you know, and that they accept that idea.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it's a little difficult starting over.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Mm-hmm.
really is.
And I think too, just even finding that person with the correct fit. Because
Yes,
sometimes you might find somebody, and maybe that person has seen you for a few weeks or a few months or whatever, and you just don't feel like it's a good fit. It's okay.
it
It's
is.
okay to cut that relationship off and go to wherever you feel like you're going to
Absolutely.
get taken care of the best.
Absolutely, because you're not a fit for everyone.
Right. I'm not everybody's cup of tea, and you're not everybody's
No,
cup of tea. We just got to
exactly.
find the right mix of people.
Right, right. And you can.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Well, I'm going to leave it at that. Again, I keep thanking you, but thank you so much for being here.
Oh, you're very
And I
welcome.
really appreciate it.
Indeed.
All right.
Indeed.
Thank you.